T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Aric Fiscus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Coming soon to an audiobook near you, the voice of the Play It By Ear podcast, Matt Vaughn.
The dulcet tones of Matthew Vaughn has made the big time.
Yes.
Can we say we got his start for him? We gave him his first gig.
We can.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to know what we're talking about, again, the voice of the Play It By Ear podcast that does the intro, that's Mr. Matt Vaughn, longtime friend.
Bandmate?
Yes, bandmate. He just, I don't know what you want to call it. He just announced his first audiobook voiceover, I guess,
Yep.
is what you
Yep.
call it.
Yeah.
Check out Matthew Vaughn Entertainment on Facebook, and he has a link to be able to download the book. It's a book called A Good Father in a Bad World. I can't quite see the author, by Ivan Wilkert Jr., and Matt is narrating and I guess produced and narrated the audio for the book, and so pretty cool announcement.
Very cool.
That is cool.
Says it's about a 2-hour listen, so I don't really know. I don't have a synopsis on the book or anything, but obviously we'll listen to it just to support our friend, no matter what the synopsis is.
Yes.
And again, if you want to hear his very beginnings of voiceover work, just listen to our intro and outro.
We are the Genesis.
Yes, we are. All right, welcome. Let's try it again. Episode 147 of the Play It By Ear podcast. Welcome
Getting up there to close to 150.
150 almost. Becky Barker is with us. A long
Becky.
time no see.
Becky.
Savannah, hello.
Savannah.
Savannah.
The wifey is in the room.
Hello, wifey.
Matt Vaughn is with us.
There he is.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome, sir. Should get you on the air and have you talk about yourself a little bit.
Yes.
Jim?
Mr. James.
Welcome.
Mr. James. Say hello to your toes, Mr. Heron.
Yeah. Get yourself centered as you listen to our podcast. All right. So, again, if you've never been here before, we will have a topic and we will have a game. Todd will have our topic for the evening, and I will MC our game. And the game of the night is Off Topic, which we had a lot of fun with first time we played it last time. Around 6-7 episodes ago, something like that. But sure, we'll enjoy it tonight as well.
It was widely popular
Very
by
popular
players
with us
and listeners.
popular with us anyway. Made us laugh, but usually, if it makes us laugh, it makes everyone else laugh.
It doesn't take much to make us laugh, though.
That's true. That's true.
I swear, and I've said this before, and so my wife, she goes on stretches where, like, for the past week and a half, she listens to an episode every morning getting ready for work, and she goes back and listens to old episodes and things like that. And if I'm not within, like, earshot to where I can hear what's actually being said, all I hear are the three of us laughing, because we all have pretty distinct laughs. It's just, most of it sounds like a bunch of people attached to an iron lung. All you hear is just and yeah, so
Emphysema comedy hour.
Yeah, various levels of wheezing.
It's
Hello,
good to
Miss Wilson.
Hello, Ms. Wilson. It's good to do that. Like, and hear it every once in a while, because like it's almost like you're here for the first time. There'll be times where I'll be listening, and I don't necessarily like to listen because I don't like to hear myself. But I don't have much of a choice when she's blaring it in the mornings, and I'll be like, pause that, rewind that. What was that made us all guffaw?
Is that why you sent that text the other day? Was she listening to that episode? I mean, just a random.
Yeah.
Episode 65, wasn't it? Or
Yeah. So she told me yesterday morning or something like that. She said that she's like, I think I've listened to this episode before, but I'm pretty sure this is what happened in this episode. And I remember we talked about it before. And then she came last night during parent teacher conferences. She came in the room, and I'm like, well, I don't want to like send the whole episode to the boys, so I just recorded off of her phone and recorded that moment where the chair was barking.
yeah, Brady.
Okay.
He's going to have to defend himself.
I am not so couth that I can't laugh at flatulence, but I swear I would have totally owned it. But I don't know what made that sound.
I don't know if it'll pop up over the air.
Not on brand.
But I think we should play this 14-second clip and let the audience be the judge.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So here we go.
Yeah. And I'm so dumb already. I was thinking brain cells instead of IQ points. So that's why I was thinking we could lose 10 of those and it not bother us that much. But if you just would have stopped at head injury, I probably would have picked a pretty high number because those terrify me.
I know chairs. I know leather chairs, pleather chairs, plastic chairs, wooden chairs.
Hide chairs. I honestly think it was bilabial fricative I made. I don't think it was. I think I just.
What'd you say about labia?
I was
bilabial fricative.
As a Brady, it doesn't sound any better than a fart. What you just said. I don't know what that is, but
I don't either.
You don't know what bilabial fricative is?
No.
Two lips making that sound. It's bilabial fricative.
All right.
That's a technical term.
All right.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up after the podcast.
Consult
Anywho,
George
that was-
Carlin.
And if you're interested as to where that might be,
Well,
episode 69.
Well, the funny thing is I'm trying to record that. I'm holding my phone up to her phone while she's playing it, and about that time, our custodian comes by dragging like one of the garbage carts. So if you heard a rumbling building up to that, that's what that was, because we have a new surface on our floors that over the past 2 years, our floors are bumpy. So like the carts, if a cart or a garbage can or something's being rolled down the hallway, it sounds like a
Speed bumps.
herd of tanks coming at you. Yeah.
Yeah, let me put that up here again. Episode 69, 1 hour and 33 minutes and 15 seconds. You can be the
keeping
judge.
track.
That's
You
right.
can be the judge of what was it, a bilabial fricative or Brady?
Or a bigluteal fricative.
Or did someone step on a freaking duck?
A bilabial duck. Ducks don't have lips, though, do they?
It'd be bibilial.
Bibilial?
I'm making that up, but it sounds good.
All right. Okay. Enough of that nonsense. Todd, on to the next bit of nonsense.
Grow up, guys. We got to grow up. All right.
No, we don't.
Is it my turn just to go?
Let's talk about taxes.
All right, gentlemen.
Hold on, Todd. I got to put this up here first. John, commenting on your safety dance hat, he said, I needed that hat at my 40th reunion a few weeks ago. I sprained the arch of my foot on that song.
During the safety dance?
And that you weren't being very safe.
Well,
That's irony, that if there ever was.
I was more going toward there was never a bigger old guy comment than that one right there. I mean, you couldn't make a more I'm old comment, John Barney, than that right there.
Actually, you could. And sadly, I think we've all probably been there. It goes something like, I pulled a muscle in my back sneezing last night or something like that, or coughing. But he was at least dancing. That's actually a pretty badass way to hurt yourself.
I was chasing the varmints off my backyard and stepped in a hole and,
was drying my hair, pull my neck.
Or as I often do, I injure myself whilst sleeping.
Yeah.
That's an old guy comment.
Happens.
Yeah. All right, we ready?
We are ready.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a little while since we have done a good old round of Am I the Anuse / Am I the Asshole?
Hazel.
AITA.
Yeah.
And the first one I have here, and remember, guys, I don't read these ahead of time, which is so you never know what you're going to get. I look at some headings because it does give a heading for each one. This one says, "Am I the asshole for not letting my boyfriend go to the bar at his birthday?" So here we go. This is a 21-year-old female boyfriend, 26-year-old male, has regular stays in hotels for his work. Last summer, he had to stay in a hotel for 3 weeks, right after my vacation, which means I wouldn't be able to see him for a month. On top of that, he would also turn 26 during that time. So we decided I should come over for a few days to stay with him. I did realize this would mean I wasn't going to be able to see him much because he would be busy all day long. But that didn't matter. I was just happy to see him. Here comes the problem. On his birthday, his boss gave him time off work early so I could take him out to dinner. After that, we went back to the hotel. He told me he wanted to go to the hotel bar to enjoy some beers with his colleagues. I would have preferred some quality time in our room, but it's his day, so he could decide. Only he didn't want me to come along. That really bummed me out and made me feel like he was ashamed of me. I asked him why he didn't want me to come. He told me he didn't really know. He just didn't want me to. I know he's never really been able to express his feelings in words, so I tried listing some options for him. What? Eventually, he said it would be weird for me to sit with his coworkers, they're all men, as it could make them act different. I didn't want my boyfriend to worry about this, but I also felt like this really wouldn't be a problem. I had already met several of his coworkers and we got along just fine. He also felt like he had to guide me all night. So I assured him I would be all right and could take care of him myself. He got sad and didn't know what to do anymore. He didn't want to disappoint me, but he also really wanted to go to the hotel bar without me. It ended up with him not going because he couldn't decide and it got late, and us both in a sort of weird, sad mood. I felt really guilty for making him sad and influencing his night. Am I the asshole for not letting him go without expressing my disappointment?
Wow. There's a lot of undertone going on in that relationship.
Quote one of my favorite podcasters. There's a lot to unpack there.
Indeed.
Well, let's see. I think this matters in my mind. Okay, how far did she have to come to visit him? Did she get on a plane and fly there? Would this be like, well, for us, a local, what was he just staying in Columbus where it was like a 2-hour drive? Well, and even then, like, distance matters to me in this one. If she had to fly cross country or get on a plane or do multi-day travel, I get it. But his explanation's not good. He did not lay it out well.
But I took it that he didn't have an explanation, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know what I mean? I took it as almost he knew any explanation he had was going to make him sound bad.
Yeah.
I don't really have an answer. Also, for all I know is it was in Vegas. It doesn't say he's going to be there for 3 weeks. Get this though. We decided I should come over for a few days to stay with him. I did realize that this would mean I wasn't going to be able to see him much. So she realized she wasn't going to be able to see him much, but yet she's complaining about exactly that, about one of the nights not being able to hang out with him and his coworkers. He and his coworkers.
Well, I don't think it's, and here I am taking the woman's point of view. I mean, not that the woman's point of view is wrong. Now,
yeah,
I mean, that's not. I mean, but one would assume, okay, now I can't see him very much. That would mean that he is working, not leisurely
Frolicking.
sitting in the bar. You know.
Yeah. Here's the thing I think that saves her from being. First off, there's a couple things in play here. I don't think he's wrong at all for wanting to hang out with his coworkers without his spouse or his girlfriend. Actually, the fact that it's not his spouse makes a difference there. In my mind, and especially as young as they are. So I don't think this is like a couple that have been together for 20 years or anything like that. I mean, so I don't think there's anything wrong with him wanting to have an evening with his coworkers after a day's work without her there. However, he's there for 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Well, okay. I think you may be going where I was going in my mind. Yeah.
He's there for 3 weeks. I think he probably could take this one evening, and she's asking to come along. She's not asking to pull him away from.
Yeah, she's not saying all or nothing. She's not saying, hey, it's them or me. She's saying, hey, I'll go chill.
Yeah.
So I think the undertone here in his answer of, if you come along, they will act different, which I think the undertone there is he will also
act different.
And there will be no belching, farting, or oogling from the table, right? I mean, that's kind of what it says there.
I'm going to go one farther. It's Vegas, so I bet there are a lot of smart-looking lasses in Vegas, and I'm guessing that
and some that aren't so smart-looking. But go ahead.
Well, now, hang on a minute. Now, I was with you guys. I was skipping along the road, holding hands with you guys, just in complete harmony. And now you had to go there, Brady, which is where is the mistake. The one thing I hate that she did was the whole, I bet he's embarrassed about me. I bet he's ashamed of me. That's bullcrap.
No, yeah, that is bullcrap.
But I'm saying, assuming that he didn't want her there because he was going to be frolicking about with the female. I think that's also bullcrap.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying he's going to frolic. I'm saying that, and I'm still in your team. I'm still holding hands with you, skipping down the lane. I'm just saying that I don't know if he's as worried about what he'll do or what his friends might do. They will bust his chops and say something like, "Oh, didn't you hook up with her last week?" just to give him a hard time.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend might be
last
sensitive.
week, yeah. Like, I can see that, but I believe him somehow when I think he's concerned about his coworkers' behavior. Now, whether it's he says they'll act different, as in it won't be as fun.
Yes.
Like everybody be afraid to just kind of let loose and talk, or if he means that they will ride him and tease him and make it uncomfortable. It could go either way there. But yeah, I don't really think. I'm going to say no. She's not the asshole.
Okay, I'm gonna put something else out there, and it's kind of building off of what Brady said. She's 21, and he's 26. I think even though there's no illegality there or anything like that, I still think there is quite a bit of difference as far as where you are in your life between 26 and 21. So I think he, in his mind, feels some need to protect her, which
is very noble.
Which ties into, what you all were saying. If they're giving him a hard time and riding him, or they're acting a fool and she's sitting there. We don't know.
Say things that are appropriate, like, referring to like, well, I'm going to try to be polite here. Oh, it's her birthday. Is there going to be rogering and things like that? Right. So you know what I mean? So
could it be also, though, when he says he's afraid they'll act different, is that they will feel like they have to act different and therefore hold it against him, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also think there's something to be said there. I think it just depends too. Think about this with Celia. When we were friends back when, and Say and I were dating, she was one of the guys. She hung out as one of the guys. So I think it also depends on that dynamic. But otherwise, I think it might be. I have to question why she kind of wants to go hang out with all these men. If it's just
she wants to see who the stories are about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, but I don't think she wants to hang out with the guys, though. She wants to be with him.
Yeah, that's true.
She wants to hang out with the guys. She didn't want to go. She wanted to have alone time, quote unquote. Yeah. Wiggy wiggy wow wow. But
so she's trying to compromise.
Yes.
Yes. I actually don't. I don't know if anus is the correct application for either one. Totally.
I don't either. I don't think either one is. I don't think there's anything really wrong with this. I think this is probably a situation or a conversation most any couple would have or has had or whatever.
Yeah.
I really think this. In reality, they should have done a little better planning before the trip.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
Now-
and I'm going to go back to what you said with Celia. She was one of the guys, but then contrast that with stop yelling. You know, I wouldn't want to bring that around you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I will say there's not enough. Maybe there's not enough to know their dynamic here to.
True.
But my stamp is not the anus.
Yeah, she's not.
Yeah,
She's not.
and I don't think he is either. I really don't. I mean,
Uncomfortable situation, but no anal re.
yeah.
I'm like Brady. I think "and use" is a strong word for him. I think maybe a little inconsiderate.
Possibly.
You know, maybe not going so far as being an "and use."
But you also got to keep in mind he didn't go.
Well, but he probably didn't go, and then was crestfallen the whole night. It's like
What?
That wasn't a word I expected to hear you pull out, Eric.
hey,
Crestfallen.
always like keep you on your toes there.
That's right. All right, moving on.
Well, hold on.
Sorry,
I
we have
got
some
some comments. Yeah, Jim, a very very good point. Didn't they agree? Optimal word being they for her to come to Vegas. He is the a-hole. Yeah,
Interesting.
That's
Solid.
That's a valid point.
Solid point.
Celia always loved hanging out with us, as we did love hanging out with you, Celia. It's always good to have a female around that can
A female foil to our
foil,
manliness.
yes, that's a good word. That's a good word.
Well, in her defense, she doesn't offend very easily.
No, not at all.
You know.
Matter of fact, I mean, she'd come right back at you. So that was the fun part too.
Well, and I think we all agree that this was. There's something to be said also that this is his birthday, and is there such a thing as hey? But again, this should have all been dealt with before they left. I mean, like this is
and that is the prime reason I will say he's not an and use. It was his birthday. So he should have some choice in all that, I guess. If it wasn't his birthday, I probably would have hung the a-hole mantle on him. But,
hung the a-hole. It's like flipping somebody
like
a bird.
I'm
Hang
sorry,
the
Mr.
a-hole,
Smith.
man.
You got to see the proctologist. You've hung your a-hole.
Yeah, he would be wearing the badger suit, right, Brad?
That is a well-hung a-hole.
Yeah. John. Depending on the status of their relationship, is it their age? Is it a planning thing? I don't see either one of them at fault. A push.
I think he kind of agrees with us there.
Yeah.
Hello, John. Good
Hey,
evening.
John.
Matt.
My last comment about it.
Matt says he's at the very least anus adjacent.
Yes.
Pecker gnat or something flying around. It's driving me nuts.
One of my favorite, like, do the dogs call it me pecker nads?
They just call them mean. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe
Me nads.
mean gnats.
But I will say, I'm reading into this. I'm sticking with my answer, not the news, both. But I will say, he seems awfully concerned. I want to know if he's afraid that she is going to be delicate in front of his gang of rogues, or she is going to not like something about them, or he's afraid they're going to say something.
I mean, I think we could play that all day long, though. I mean,
we can. We can.
But
Let's be honest.
But I also think there's one of the first things that I thought. I think I said this. He might just not want her to go, and she's making him give him reasons why, and he's saying, well, they'll act because maybe he just doesn't come out and say, I just don't want you there. Like I just want to hang out with the guys. I mean, so I kind of feel like his excuses aren't great, but she's also forcing him to come up with excuses, which could explain why his excuses aren't great.
True.
And again, I will purloin Matt's term of anus adjacent. And,
It's gonna go in the isms now.
Yes, her. It's his birthday, so that's why I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt a little bit.
He gets a mulligan.
All right. Are we ready to move on?
Yes.
See.
Am I the asshole for feeding a guest out of bowls my dog uses? I have one large dog at home. I don't have a dog food bowl, as in a dedicated bowl that my dog eats out of. She has a water bowl that's just for her, but not a dedicated food bowl. Well, first off, I already have a problem with that. Your dog deserves its own food bowl.
Yes.
My dog eats fresh food, so every day I prepare my dog's food using my usual kitchen utensils and gear, put the food in one of my normal bowls, and then give it to my dog. Once she's finished eating, I take the bowl away and put it in the dishwasher to be cleaned. I just feel like it's more hygienic this way since she gets a clean bowl for every single meal. She's a dog. Plus, it's easier for me since I can just dump it in the dishwasher. Recently, I had a house guest over for a meal. Let's call him Mark. The house guest, I guess, not the meal. And everything was going okay until he found out that my dog eats out of the same tableware as the humans do. He was already really put off that I let my dog onto my furniture, but after hearing this, he freaked out, yelling at me how I was disgusting and how I should have warned him before that, so he could have just not eaten anything. He ranted about how I live in filth and how I'm putting him on the level of a dog. He thinks it's unhygienic. Is that a word? That I don't have dedicated dog bowls and utensils for my dog to use. I don't think it's an issue. I have a maid come in every single day to clean. I like keeping my house clean. Even my dog gets wiped every time she comes in from a walk, so she's clean too.
What wiped? Pause. I'm hoping.
It doesn't say. Plus, does he have his maid wipe his dog if he's not there?
Give the dog the twinkle tush treatment.
Plus, I feel like after the dishes go through the dishwasher, it's clean, so it wouldn't matter who uses it. It's not like I use the utensils to prepare my dog's food and then use the same ones for humans, or that I reuse the bowl my dog uses without washing it. Am I the asshole for not telling my guest that my dog eats out of the same bowls as he does?
Oh, my. This is easy. May I?
Yes.
Please.
First off, I hate to use the word dedicated food bowl. That makes it sound like the bowl is supremely motivated and dedicated to being a bowl. Anyway, that bothers me. Anyway, but okay, the dog probably does deserve its own bowl. However, I will say if she says she prepares its food, like it's one of those, tubes of food that comes out of the fridge that you had to prepare, it does get spoiled. And no more than a human does, if the food is spoiled, it can make the dog sick. I'm also guessing if the dog has specially prepared food, it might have intestinal distress issues. So she's probably being very careful.
Which is probably why it gets wiped after walks.
Which is probably when it gets wiped when it comes in. So that being said, it goes through a dishwasher. A maid comes in and cleans. It's not, there's like piles of dog feces all around. It's not like, there's dog hair coming out of the ice dispenser.
Well, not according to her.
He sounds a little bit uppity.
Well, who, the friend or the dog owner?
The friend. Unless there's something we don't know. If a maid comes in and everything, I can't imagine. If a maid comes in every day, I cannot imagine much filth.
A big question I have is why he even told the friend, or he or she. I don't know if it's a female or a male. I didn't say.
Maybe
why did they even tell the friend? Why did they
Huge question. If she could afford a maid, she could afford a dog bowl.
Is this a male or a female?
It doesn't say.
Okay. So I'm with Brady. I mean, you can afford a maid every day. Why can't you?
Well, the dog is a female. Not that matters, but.
The dog is a female?
Yeah. Here's my thing, though. I can agree that this thing going through the dishwasher, however, anyone who has ever unloaded a dishwasher knows that every once in a while you get bowls and plates that have not been thoroughly cleaned. There's still
True.
speckles of food in them and stuff. So I do think this person needs to stop feeding people from the same bowl that her dog eats from.
That should be his designated. That should become the designated bowl.
Exactly. Now, to what you said, Brady, about the food, I don't know a dog alive that leaves hardly. As a matter of fact, the dog usually cleans the bowl and plate cleaner than what the dishwasher would. Now, granted, it's with dog saliva, but my point is, I don't think.
I mean, my dogs pre-wash some of my,
Well,
plates.
but I'm saying, like, I don't think that a dog. Well, you said something about it might leave food around and get contaminated or spoiled. I don't think dogs leave much around to spoil, like as far as from their.
That's true.
And I also don't necessarily think that just because it gets this homemade food or whatever that it has a stomach issue or something. But that's neither here nor there. I think that the friend could probably just say, "Hey, man, that's gross," or whoever, "That's gross. I prefer not to eat off the same bowl." But I don't think the friend has any right to lecture them and tell them that they live in filth and that they, overwhelmingly, not overwhelmingly, but the consensus is on this is that this person is an asshole for feeding their friends or their house guest out of the same bowl. I won't say they're an asshole. I think they're wrong.
I mean, and I bet that the bowl has been properly cleaned, or she wouldn't have I don't think she's haphazard about it. She will probably inspect the bowl and make sure that it is cleaned, that it doesn't have kibble still stuck on it.
You keep assuming femininity on this person, Brady.
Yeah, we don't know. And honestly, if I would trust it more if it were a female than a dude.
Yeah.
But I also. So I think this is another one where I don't know that I think there's an asshole. I just think there's a just stop it. Just get a bowl for your dog. And here's the thing. If you feel like you must, then take your dog's designated dog bowl and wash it every day. But still have a designated dog bowl.
At the very least, have 2 designated dog bowls, and you put food out in one. Then when it's done, you take it and wash it and put the other one out.
Yeah,
you just kind of rotate.
I would like to know
have 7 and have a new bowl every day. But either way, they're designated dog bowls.
If I had the address for this person, I would go to Tractor Supply or Dollar General right now and get them a dog bowl, and I would ship it to their house. That $3 dog bowl, $5 dog bowl, big one.
And
my 75-pound golden retriever does just fine with it.
And the next time you went over to their house, they would serve you something in that bowl.
Then I would know it'd be like that big thing, and I would just get it like. That's what That's what I would do if she served me in that same bowl. Let's say it was chili, I would do just like that. I would not pick up the silverware and I just and do it that way.
All right. Do we have any comments?
We have several comments. Becky says, "This is why I don't eat at people's houses." That's a valid point. Matt says his adjacency.
As in anus adjacency?
Yeah. John, it is not an issue, and if the guy went off on me, I'd probably go Roy D. Mercer on him. Get over it.
I'm Dennis, Roy D. Mercer. Refresh me.
I know he was a guy that prank called people. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I remember too. I don't know specifics of Roy D. Mercer, but Dennis, welcome, Dennis.
Dennis.
She called it herself. Yes, she is. Jim, how many times have you let the dog lick the plate clean before you put it in the dishwasher? Also, it has to be a female. Males wouldn't have a maid come in every day. Yes. So, seems like our people who commented here are kind of split as well.
Yeah. All right, here's another one involving a dog. Am I the asshole for inadvertently waking up my husband by scolding my dog? Now, I hope that's not a euphemism.
Scolding the dog in the other room.
Or was the husband scolding the dog?
Husband was laid on the couch, eyes closed. We have an L-shaped couch. He was laid on one part of it, and I caught our dog laid on the other side of the L. I don't know if It's not very well written, but I'm reading it how it is. When I catch the dog on the couch, I make a loud, audible gasp along with shouting him off so that he knows that. It's like it's what this person does every time.
And she went, Gadzooks.
So when I catch the dog on the couch, I make a loud, audible gasp along with shouting him off so that he knows and trains to not get on the couch. I'm wondering if this person it doesn't speak English very well, because they're the way these sentences, they're not, if you're not picking up on that, they're
seems to be awkwardly written.
Yeah, not that it matters, but it came to me there. Husband who is also a bit ill currently just had a massive go at me saying, why would I just go and do that? The wording is just my husband who is also a bit ill currently just had a massive go at me saying, why would I just go and do that and wake him up when he was clearly asleep right next to where the dog was? I told him that in my opinion, I didn't think he was asleep. He wasn't actually snoring or breathing heavy.
Because he wasn't scolding the dog yet.
That is not a matter of opinion, though. You don't get to have an opinion on whether somebody's asleep or not.
No, you don't.
He then went off on what, saying, how do I have the audacity to actually tell another person if they were or were not asleep? I agree. Enough so to say it was a narcissist way of thinking. He kept saying he was actually asleep. I told him more than once that I don't think he was asleep, because clearly he wasn't doing the things that people normally do when they sleep, such as snoring, breathing heavy, etc. When he asked me, regardless of whether I knew he was asleep or not, was it that important that the dog was on the couch that I had to start shouting there and then, which would clearly wake anybody up? I said that it was that important, hence why I had to do it in there and then. Because I don't like the dog on the couch and I am training him to not be on it. And whenever I catch him on it, I have to be consistent and shout at him there and then. So that he knows not to go on it. Am I the asshole? Oh, wow.
I would put this person that I hope they have a proctologist outside of their door, because we're talking about a large inflamed anus.
Yeah.
Nothing about this lady or this person is pleasant. Don't tell me if I'm sleeping or not. So now there are some people that deny it. I've seen that happen. I will not name any names, but I know of a person that may or may not be in my house soon that they're like, I wasn't sleeping,
Yeah. That's different, though.
Yeah.
That's different. That's a person denying that they were sleeping, not
Correct.
Someone telling somebody else, in my opinion, you weren't asleep. You weren't sleeping hard enough for me to know you were asleep.
You don't get to tell me if I'm sleeping.
That's don't get to tell me's. Yeah, I agree. She's an asshole. First off,
and I don't think she's an asshole just about the dog.
No,
I think she's just one in general.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, the dog thing is less asshole-ish than the other part. I mean, I understand what she's saying. Like, if you're training your dog, you have to be consistent. But there's probably other ways to get the dog off the couch.
True. It sounds like a euphemism. Scolding the dog, get the dog off the couch. This sounds like we're talking about something else, but we're not.
Well, how many times has she shrieked at this dog and it's still getting up on the couch? Apparently your shrieking is not working.
Get out the couch! Get out the couch! And the guy's trying to sleep. He's sitting there sound asleep, and she kind of sounds like Yoko Ono is what I'm imagining.
And she's over there caterwauling, and he's asleep, and she says he's not asleep.
Doggerwauling.
Yes, I just...
All right. So, yeah, I think that one we can agree.
Yeah.
Did anybody else chime in and say whether...
All right. Yeah, we got some comments here. Trev, welcome.
Hey, Trevor.
Roy damn Mercer would put a pop knot on your head big enough to hang a hat on. Becky, dogs lick butts. Some are okay with that. However, I am not a booty licker fan myself. Fair enough.
Yeah. I think she's talking about the plate one, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was still the previous situation.
Yeah, I got you.
John also says Roy D. Mercer's phrase is, "How about you get yourself a use whipping?"
I remember listening to some Roy D. Mercer tapes, some cassettes back in the day.
Oh, and the gauntlet has been thrown down again.
You know,
Celia says, "You wake me up constantly yelling or talking to the dog." And hint to the listeners and viewers, she's not talking about me and Brady.
Just for the record, just to be clear.
well, I know what she's talking about. So what she's not admitting to, because she probably doesn't know that she's doing it, is she does the same thing.
Wrong way.
So what happens is our dog wakes up very early in the morning.
Eric, you're pointing at the wrong side.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, according to me, your finger was going this way toward the white
you know
side.
What? I was asleep. I don't care what you say. I was pointing the right way.
You weren't sleeping because you weren't snoring
That's
or slobbering
right.
or farting. So here's what she's talking about real quick.
Okay.
Our dog wakes up super early in the morning. It annoys us both. She typically, so usually whichever one of us happens to be awake when the dog wakes up, rather than get up with the dog at whatever time she wakes up, because it might be 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Usually one of us will just be like, Heidi, get up here, like get her back up in the bed. And she will usually come back up and lay down and sleep for a little longer and then get up again. So that's what she's accusing me of, because when she's asleep and I'm trying to scream as loud, as quiet as I can.
All right.
Heidi, get up here.
Let us revisit this comment here, because the comment says, "You wake me up constantly yelling or talking to the dog to hear you tell the story. This is a mutual thing." She doesn't say that. She says
no. I didn't say it was mutual.
She doesn't say we wake each other up constantly to yelling or talking to the dog.
I didn't say it was mutual. Would be as if we're awake together, both yelling at the dog to get back up in the bed. It is some mornings I'm up and I am yelling for the dog to get back in the bed. Some mornings Celia is up. And the reason why we don't know that is because the other one's asleep when it's happening. So that's why.
Here's what happens in my house, especially after this time change. It looks like this. "Hello, my name is Pepper. You might remember me from such hits as waking you up at 4:30 in the morning and barking, and I'm here to talk about you to reverse remortgages."
Yeah, the dogs struggle with time changes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Celia's half right there. We neither one of us we don't like to give in to the dog and get up earlier than what we think the dog should be getting up. So rather than doing so, we will just scold the dog to get back up in bed and go to sleep.
So you just got mad at what's her face in the previous story by saying the guy wasn't asleep, but you're telling the dog it doesn't have to go to the bathroom.
Right. Dog does not have to. That dog does not need to do anything at 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning except get back up on the bed and go back to sleep. And my proof in that is she will get back in the bed and go back to sleep if you just tell her to.
Unfortunately, there's been times, especially with my little dog Bruno, who's only barely over a year old, I will find Tootsie Rolls in the hallway that are not the confectionery kind. That he's trying to tell me, he's like, "Yo, dude, I'm prairie dog in here," and he's like, "Yeah." So one that works, one that does not work at all.
Yeah.
So,
But I, again, and I know we do this all the time with the Am I the Asshole? You're thinking, why take the time to get on Reddit and post this when this is just your basic run of the mill husband-wife disagreement? But then again, there would be no Am I the Asshole subreddit if people didn't do that. So I'm kind of happy they do.
Right. Doug Freeze in the head.
Doug! Silent Bludgeoning. That sounds like a great either death metal or horror movie. Silent Bludgeoning.
What you have to do at that point is you got to get right down the dog's face.
Doug, in your honor, this is what Doug's silent. I got to find something that'll work. This will work. Doug's silent bludgeoning would look something like this. Ready? His Doug's car keys move.
All right, here's a short one. Am I the asshole?
Hello.
By the way, Maxwell's with us.
Maxwell. Am I the asshole for eating all the biscuits in the house? Yes. I don't even need to read this.
I was gonna say.
Now, before we read this, is this real true biscuits, like cat head biscuits?
I'll say, are these British people?
Or these
Are
British,
these
are they
cookies?
cookies? Yeah. Because there's a difference.
Do I get to do it?
Yes.
Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste.
So for context, 17-year-old male, so we have a teenager here, have a bad habit of eating junk food from our house. And this time was the same. I went in the kitchen and took 3 packets of my favorites, Parley G. Might need to look that up, Aric. And
Parley
ate them over the course of a week while I
Okay,
study it.
Spell that for me.
Parle and then a capital G. Right at, like it's 2. Like Parley G is almost as in like,
That's a rapper name.
Okay.
Parley G.
yeah. Are you looking it up?
I am looking it up.
So I ate them over the course of a week while I study at night, but I forgot one important detail, that I'm not the only one in my family who likes it. By the way, there is not one period in this entire mess of a paragraph. So,
Wait, it is a teenage boy writing it. I mean,
yeah, it's a mess.
all right, here we go. Before you go on, here are the Parley G biscuits.
Is it coming?
Yep.
There you go. Those look like dog biscuits.
They don't look very flavorful.
No.
This is definitely a British person.
Yeah.
Yes. That's one step above a crumpet. It's something to be consumed with afternoon tea.
I don't want that unless I can dip it into some chocolate or something. That's bland at best.
I just don't want that.
And let me put this up here. The mascot on the Parley G biscuit.
Is it Fred Savage?
No, it looks like a Campbell Soup kid with dark hair. I mean,
Oh, it looks like Fred Savage to me.
well,
A young-
I guess
Is this the paramour of Little Debbie?
yeah, could be
It's Little Debbie's boyfriend, Parley G.
Petite Deborah.
Now, I must say that every once in a while I stumble across, since I don't proofread these, I stumble across one that I think is just a wash, and that's such a mess I can't read it. I will tell you right now, my 4th graders write 10 times better paragraphs than what this 17-year-old male is writing.
Yeah. By the way, there's the.
Let me tell you about that package. I'll tell you exactly what that kid's saying. This ain't got no taste.
Well, they got it in Milt, so it's almost like as if it's a cereal.
It kind of does look like it'd be cereal.
You could break them
there's-
in half.
There's also a strike that it says 1 kilogram. I want nothing to do with it. Too much
Yeah.
metrics for my liking.
I almost got to buy those, though, just to taste one.
Okay. Well, there they are on
There they are.
on Amazon, $9.99.
Yep. Parley G. Those are Parley G Gold. Do they have other? I wonder if they have other.
Parley G.
Goat. What say you, Doug? Party G Goat.
All right. We're going to skip over that one.
Celia says, "Don't you mean a strumpet?"
I don't know. Is
The
it a
Dumb and
strumpet?
Dumber tea and strumpets.
Yeah. Continue.
All right. I'm moving on to a different one because I could care less about that kid and his cookies.
Dismissed.
Am I the asshole? Criticized for my behavior in a restaurant. So here we go. Now this is an older couple. My girlfriend, 45 female, and I, 55 male, were at a somewhat fancy restaurant. It was not full, but the hostess seated several people at the table next to us. They were fine, but all of them were louder than us, and we could hear their conversation too well. My girlfriend cares a lot about what people around her might be thinking, and we are both on the quiet side, so we felt like we could hardly talk anymore. I don't remember what we did talk about, but there was some tension between us. Then I was saying something to her, and the busboy interrupted me. Definitely not good service. I scowled at him for a couple seconds. It was an automatic reaction, and I didn't say anything unpleasant. My girlfriend was immediately upset at me for being rude to the busboy. She says that because she is a classist, her word, from her upbringing, but liberal politically, she is especially offended by rudeness towards anyone in a service job. In my opinion, my rudeness was small, fleeting, and understandable. So I wish she would forgive me and let us be happy together. Neither I nor anyone else is perfect. The restaurant manager seemed easy to talk to, so a bit later I gave her some feedback in a discreet way about the seating and the service. It seemed to me that the manager was happy to know about the opportunities for improvement. I didn't identify the busboy, so there was no issue about him being punished. My girlfriend became more silent and upset. Later, she told me that while I was talking to the manager, a disturbed individual came into the front of the restaurant, but I was preventing the manager from responding. I'm sure this is true, but I never saw it happen. So am I the asshole for scowling at the busboy and taking the manager aside to provide feedback? Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend that she should forgive me?
Run. Run.
Now,
run fast.
I was waiting for us to have one of these. I'm on her side.
See, I think they're both nuts.
Well, that I will agree to. But I also
he
think,
sounds rude and she's a ponce.
So there's two things here. Scowling to me is nothing. Like I thought this was going to be like he yelled something. He
rated.
He literally just gave him a look.
Dishes or something.
Yeah, but I also think that she's right in that. I mean, so this busboy dare interrupt him, like he's like the busboy are they supposed to watch and watch for when his mouth isn't moving so they can then go in and talk to him without interrupting him? Like for him to act like this, I am not to be interrupted, and then I'm going to go and talk to the manager about how best to not interrupt people like me when we're having our dinner. That bugs me. So that's where I'm on her side.
I agree with that.
How much do you want to bet that's not what happened at all? He was scowling because of her ridiculousness and pomposity. And when the busboy came up, he just interrupted a moment because prithee the thought that he could be annoyed with her. And that
but
he had been scowled upon.
But here's what you're doing. You're acting as a fictional writer. There was no evidence that she did anything to make him scowl. He was where's your evidence that he had any reason to be upset at her?
My GUT.
But
my gut.
You got to have you have to have text evidence. You can't just say I bet she was making him mad before he scowled at it didn't say anything about that.
It failed in sophomore geometry, the BISS postulate, because Brady, I said so.
Brady, that's exactly what was coming out of my mouth when you said it. I said, is this the BISS postulate?
Yes.
But again, the story starts with they're sitting there and he gets mad at the busboy. It doesn't start out as she was annoying him. Like that's the beginning of the story is they're sitting at a restaurant. He gets mad at the busboy. So I don't know where you're getting that she was annoying him. Like
something about her description of herself
of you, Brady.
Reeks.
All you females cancel Brady over that right there. Just assuming that because she's a female, she's annoying him before the busboy.
No. You could reverse the gender roles and had the man said the same thing that she did. They will be scowled upon. SCOULT. They will be scowled upon by me.
But I still have to say, said what? She never said. He's the one saying that like she is like politically like she never said a word.
Okay, wait a minute. Then I am confused because I thought it was the girl telling the story.
I thought she said she was classist.
Yes.
Well, she did. It's not like she's saying it that night. He's saying that that's what like. This is how she describes herself and her family.
Okay, because I thought she was telling the story.
No, my girlfriend and I, 45 female,
okay,
55 male. So there's no evidence that she does anything other than just he's talking about the way she typically sees herself and she gets embarrassed and she doesn't like people mistreating other people, stuff like that. But there's no. She didn't do anything in this story is what I'm saying.
Okay. See, I thought she said, I am classist and this.
No, that's what I thought you said, too.
She says, all he says about her after he talks about how he was interrupted by this god-awful busboy who interrupted him. Yeah. It says, my girlfriend was upset that for being rude to the busboy.
Where was the part about the classes? Like, could you reread that line?
Yeah, it said that she's class in her own words. She's classist from her upbringing, but liberal politically. But again, it's not like she's saying I'm classist. You're an asshole for staring at that bus. I mean, this is something that
See, that's the way I thought it went down.
he's referring to her, how she sees
Okay.
herself like in general.
Somehow
Yeah.
I got the narrator flip-flopped.
No, because then it says
which was
she's
bringing the ire out of me.
it says she's especially offended by rudeness towards anyone in a service job. But again, I do think she's overreacting because all he did was scowl. But I also think by him thinking that he's above being interrupted makes him look like the asshole. And by the way, it is overwhelmingly people they say he's the asshole in this story.
That's without a doubt.
Yeah. See, that's where my vociferous argument was coming from. I thought she was telling the story, and it just sat on me wrong.
Yeah, this person says the manager of an upscale restaurant knows how to run their business. She was just being polite to your face. How dare a busboy exist and do his job bussing tables while you're busy talking? Shouldn't he know how important you are? How dare he? That's kind of how I go.
There you go.
Well,
okay.
Well, just his description of his own actions, like the manager was happy to have the feedback from
Well, I think that's what they were talking
as
about.
knowledgeable as I am.
Yeah, I think
My
that's what that
mind-
person was talking about when they said she was being polite to your face. Like the manager was being polite
Right.
to his face.
I kind of imagine there's like Kim Jong-il posters where he's like descended to the fields and he's making this grand gesture and he's showing them this wonderful guidance. That's how I think he imagines himself.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, the people didn't buy it. They deemed him the asshole.
Indeed. All right. A few comments. Back to the what I call Parley G's. Doug says $10 for a 10-pack. Buy.
Man,
You have to buy some
Dang.
Parley G's.
I didn't see that. I thought it was just.
Celia says $9.99 for cookies. I'll stick with Calitos. They are Todd's favorite. Are those the fake Oreos?
Yes.
Those are the Oreos that are fake.
Matt's
See.
question was who kept the argument going for our previous situation there.
I'll call a spade. I accidentally kept the argument going.
I think he means out of the people, right?
Yeah, right.
I know. I'm.
So now we're going to go into an ELA class here. I understand that people have to have evidence to support their point, but since they're only written from one person's perspective in the incident, is it safe for us to make some assumptions, right?
Oh, well, yeah, you have
It's
to. But
unsafe.
all I was pointing out, though, was that the way Brady was talking, like he had every right to be upset at her, and I was just pointing out that she hadn't said anything really, or she hadn't. Maybe she did. I mean, maybe before they left, she made him mad, but that's not part of the story. So here's another
Jim,
dog one, by the way. Oh, sorry.
Jim says maybe he scowls at him because he came up and asked a question when his mouth was full. I think that's a gift of servers. That's true.
Oh yeah.
Very true.
What you do there is you just
Always.
spit all your food out in your hand and then talk to them and put it back in your mouth.
Yes.
I like how violently you did that, Brady. I was thinking more like soft and easy, like
like you're fall out.
like a cat hacking up
like
a
a cat. A big old piece of roast beast in my hand.
Am I the asshole for bringing my dogs trick or treating? I swear I didn't search for dog. This year I took my two kids, ages 4 and 6, trick or treating for Halloween. They had a great time and really enjoyed getting dressed up. So I'd say it was a successful night on the whole. In the evenings, I usually take my two dogs on a walk around the neighborhood. Since I'd been doing that anyway, I brought the dogs along with me. They're really timid dogs, and I kept them on a leash the whole time. I'd walk up to the doorsteps with my kids at most houses if there weren't heaps of other children there. However, since my dogs are decently large, a Great Dane and German Shepherd, decently large.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
And a Great Pyrenees.
If there were a lot of
They're
children, I'd
massive.
stand off to the side of the garden out of the way. That way, nobody would be implicated by me bringing the dogs. I arrived at one house that was decently busy. He uses the word decently a lot. So I walked in through the gates with my kids, but stood off to the side with the dogs. A few moments later, Harry, my Great Dane, went off into the bushes and began taking a poop.
Oh, here we go.
Here we
This
go.
is it right here. Go ahead. I was wondering if it was going to go there. Go ahead.
His ears are pinned back.
That's right.
I obviously cleaned it up and kept the bag. Obviously, I like how he says obviously. Like everybody cleans up
Obviously.
every loaf their dog drops. I obviously cleaned it up and kept the bag as I would dispose of it when I went home. Almost instantaneously, the homeowner came barging out and telling me off for bringing my dogs. She said that they should be kept at home as they are just causing a disruption here. She also said that she'd watched me let them pee and poop all over her front yard. They just marked a few of the bushes, that was all. I profusely apologized and took my kids and left the premises. That night, in the past 2 years, I've brought them trick-or-treating. She was the only person who had made any comment to me about the dogs. I'd always walk them into the yards of houses we were going to, and they'd gone number one or number two on multiple occasions. Yes, they're big dogs. I really didn't see how it was a problem as I cleaned up after them, kept them leashed, and made sure they weren't close to any kids who didn't want to be near them. Am I the asshole for doing this? I'm having second thoughts about doing this in the future with the dogs. I would definitely bypass that house in the future, but was it wrong to bring the dogs with me?
No, it wasn't wrong to bring if they are manageable. Now, the dog that dumped in the bush, she took care of it.
What kind of dog dumps in a bush?
Maybe one that's shy. Because a Great Dane, they're so large, wherever they can pop a squat. I mean, we're talking about they've got a span of 6 feet. Maybe their front paws are in the sidewalk, but their rear end extends to the bush. But anyway, that being said, like, I don't see what she did wrong. I agree with her. Just avoid that house. Because I know how I am with dogs on trick-or-treat. When people, will stop and pet every dog that's on the trick-or-treat byway, because I like dags. But, a lot of them have costumes. My favorite one was the one dressed up like the UPS driver, which was really funny to me. But I don't know. I don't.
The United Pooch Service?
Yes. Delivered a package in that bush, obviously.
Aric? Because I fully expected Aric and Brady to have two completely different responses here.
And you are correct.
Yes.
And I'm only going to say this, not that I would react this way, because I really wouldn't probably say anything. But there are people, and I'm just envisioning where this is. I'm envisioning this being in a ritzy-ish suburban cul-de-sac sort of place.
Yeah.
Okay, so dogs do their business in the bush, in the grass.
In the bush.
Well, did that business in the bush, but he also said several houses had marked territory and yards or whatever. But dog urine can kill grass. And some people are very uptight about their grass in such places. I'm not one of these people. That's why I wouldn't say anything about it. Some people, however, would be very offended by it.
Dog urine can kill grass if they mark the same spot over and over, but dew and damp and drizzle will get rid of it. Now, a Great Dane
live in
a
Arizona.
Great Dane,
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Actually, Doug was with me at the Toys for Adults show at the convention center. There was a Great Dane breeder there, and that dog proceeded to pee on the concrete floor of the convention center, and it was an ocean of pee. I've never seen a dog pee that much in my life. I just stared in amazement. So they can pee a lot. But
I am a person that doesn't have great knowledge of dogs.
okay.
Matter of fact, I don't necessarily mind dogs, but I want dogs over there. I don't want dogs in my sphere of influence.
You feel like dogs about the way I feel about snakes.
Right.
I don't want a snake near me. If I'm watching a snake from a distance, it doesn't bother me. But I don't want them up on me and startling me.
Right.
What?
So I'm just taking the reaction of a random person in, as I said, such a place where I envision this being, and some dog urinates and does its business in your bush and in your yard. Some people would be very uptight about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Team Fiscus here. Except I come at it from a little different perspective as a dog lover. But I also know that and he shows every sign of the thing that irks me about pet owners in general. Notice he says it was peeing in people's yard but then writes it off like it's nothing. He doesn't get to decide that's nothing. If somebody doesn't want a dog pissing in their yard, that's their yard. He's writing it off as, oh, it's no big deal. Right. And also, don't tell me because you go out of a plastic bag and I got to watch you mush this dog turd up in your Kroger bag, like I'm supposed to just be okay with that just because it's no longer in my bush. First off, what if I'm sitting there eating dinner, looking out the window, and I got to watch you messing around in a dog pile out there, and then tell me it's okay because you cleaned it up? That's one of the biggest things is people think, oh, my dog shit in your yard. Well, I cleaned it up, so it's no big deal. No, I don't want your dog shitting in my yard. I have the right. It's my yard. Just like I wouldn't want your lawn.
Literally.
I wouldn't want your kids shitting in my yard either. Don't say because you sprayed it off that it's somehow okay now that they did it. I don't want drunk people throwing up in my front yard. You can't say, well, they cleaned it up, so it's fine that they threw up in your yard. If I don't want bowel movements and anything like that in my yard, that's my prerogative. So I think it's very wrong of him to assume that people want his dog in their yard.
Bowel movements, urine, or gastric discharge. I want none of them in my yard.
Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, you don't get to say like, well, I'm making it right. It's no big deal. I kept him away from the kids. Well, first off, you don't know when that little kid's going to walk up to that dog and get its hand bitten off because, I mean, it's a time there's lots of kids around. There's lots of stress around. There's no need to take your dog out going door to door trick-or-treating with the kids. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
This is going to be the shocking part. I don't like to take my dogs trick-or-treating. It's happened twice against my will.
Twice.
I hated it. It was stressful to me. My dogs were fine, but I knew the dogs were a little uptight.
Oh, yeah. Everybody. You can't blame them.
So, therefore, you were uptight.
Yeah. I mean, like one of those kids walked by in one of those inflatable T-Rex costumes, and my dog was terrified.
Here's the thing, though. Like, first off, there are very few times when, and I'm going to go in the extreme here. In that situation, let's just say that this person takes their dog trick-or-treating every year, and they're big dogs. They're dogs that even if they were playing could harm someone just because of their size. All it takes is once. So for the whole, like, the dogs never bother anybody, blah, 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 blah. Why risk it? You take a dog to somebody else's front porch and it attacks somebody on that front porch, you're going to be in big trouble. So I don't understand. But then I think my biggest thing again is him just writing off. Yeah, he was peeing in people's yard, but just a little bit. Yeah, he pooped in a guy's bush, but I cleaned it up. No big deal. Like, you don't get to decide whether that's a big deal to someone or not. Yes. Even if somebody doesn't like worship their yard, Aric, like you were saying, like I'm not that kind of person either. But I still don't necessarily want neighborhood dogs coming and crapping in my yard.
I just have this vision of this person crawled around in their yard, like sniffing, like dog pee, because like they're going blade to blade. But I mean, I had an incident one time. My dearly departed dog Bennett, he decided to pick a Donnybrook with a bull mastiff. It was the biggest dog on the loop at the Lake Winoka campground, and he's this big and is like, like doing what little dogs do, Napoleon syndrome, and the big old dogs were like, what? And it was a scene because he was losing his mind. I didn't like that. That made me uncomfortable. I want to know part of it.
So did the mastiff take its paw and go?
Yeah.
You remember Looney Tunes with the bulldog back? He's like, nah, shut up. That's exactly what happened.
My dad, who I quote often on here, and when I say this, please know that I'm not insulting because I fall into this category. He's told me this right to my face. People that have dogs and animals lose their minds. And he's right when you think about it. We all do lose our minds with our pets because we try to justify like what that guy's doing. Like, you don't get to say that my dog crapping in your yard bothers you. I'm the one who'll say it's no big deal. I'll clean it. We lose our minds. And I think sometimes it's good to kind of go back to a dose of reality. It's probably not very responsible for you to take your dog door to door trick or treating.
Yeah.
If anything, they might eat a bunch of candy and get sick. Who knows? There's all kinds of things that could happen. But I think that's the only thing I'm going to say I think this guy's the asshole for is trying to justify it. But he is considering it. He even says, like, I'm thinking about not.
Yeah.
So he seems sensible.
Right.
But I didn't like the way he kind of wrote off. He wrote off the other people's, again, kind of like we said about the guy sleeping. You don't get to say whether, you were right to offend that person by taking a dog in their yard if they didn't want the dog in your yard.
Yeah.
Right. I was asleep, whether you say I was or not.
Yeah.
Seems to be the theme of the night.
Yeah.
So a few comments here, Matt, on the previous situation. When I'm in a restaurant, my mouth is either full or I'm talking. No way to not interrupt me. Nikki, welcome, Nikki.
Welcome, Nikki.
No, it's not
Nikki.
wrong if the dogs, and she's referring to dogs on trick or treat, it's not wrong if they're well behaved. Riker and I voting together on this one. Skip that house.
That is one of the great moments.
Is Riker a dog?
No, Riker is her son, her 8th grader.
Oh, okay.
Or 7th grader, excuse me.
Sorry, Riker.
7th or 8th grader. And he stopped me in the hall.
I knew they had a son. I didn't know his name. I thought.
Well, it's all good because, like, in the hallway, he said, I listened to your podcast the other night. And I'm like, thank you. And then I've got to thinking, like,
oh.
No, I'm kidding. It's like, we're happy he listens. He lets me know.
Many apologies, Riker.
Yeah, Riley's always like, yeah, my friends, they listen to your podcast, Dad. For some reason, they think you're funny. And I'm like, well, we appreciate that, Riley. Tell your friends that they can come and hang out here rather than you now, since you don't think I'm funny.
We'll switch.
Jim says, put a saddle on the dog, dress your kid as a cowboy.
There we go.
That'd be a good one. Jim also says, I'd be more concerned about the kids trampling the grass. Get off my grass, you little brioche. A word that rhymes with brioche.
Well, again, I think as one who I don't take my dog just goes in the yard. I just always find it odd. I've known several people like that. Like, oh, I clean it up if they go into people's yard. Well, again, if you're okay with picking up dog poop and putting it in a bag, that's fine. But you shouldn't expect other people to say you can use my yard to do all that. I mean, like, it's. Plus, most people don't go around having dogs go in other people's yards. I'm not saying that, but there are some people that don't really mind where their dog's going. Well, they just walk them and let them go wherever.
Mine have gone rogue before, where like they have gone at their appropriate place, but I've taken them on the walk and they have not. They have a little punctuation to their commerce they're conducting.
Yeah,
and I've had to go back and retrieve it. And I mean, I'm going to say it, if it's a nice firm lawn cigar that easily picks up the bag, no harm, no foul. But sometimes, let's just say it has the consistency of pumpkin pie or something, and it's not an easy cleanup. So it can be messy.
Do you clean that up with your hand?
I'm standing at my my picture window trying to eat a manwich, and I got to look out and see you digging dog crap in my yard. No.
Do you clean that with your hand?
No, good gosh, I'm not a heathen. I had these.
So if it's pumpkin pie, you just leave it? Is that what you're saying?
No. I still get it, but I'm just saying it's not a easy cleanup. I have those green. They're bright green. They're poop bags or biodegradable kind of thing. So you just put it on your hand like a mitt, and then you grab it, and then you just reverse.
Here's what I've always wondered, and I say this with no judgment whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm a small dog person. I don't like tripping over dog poop. Why do every dog I've ever had has just gone in their own yard? I don't quite understand the idea of having to take a dog somewhere else to go to the bathroom.
Well,
that would be like getting in your car.
Is crazy.
That would be like getting in your car and going up to somebody else's bathroom every time you had to go.
Well, it's kind of, they don't want to foul their own nest. Both of my small dogs they've had no problem. They'll drop a deuce anywhere. But both of my big dogs, they don't like pooping in their yard. Like there's a vacant field behind my house. I call it the pooping field. And that's where they usually go. But every once in a while, like I said, they'll poop along the way and I'll have to go back and get it. Now, there's one place that there's no house, or there's like a ditch. And like anytime it rains, it washes right. I don't really mess with that much because there's usually it gets moved away. But if they've been happen to go in somebody's yard, as long as I know about it, I'm gonna retrieve it.
Yeah,
I just bag it, throw it in the garbage can.
Yeah, I just was always curious because I've never. I mean, I guess I kind of look at it like the old, like, if you're hungry enough, you'll eat it. Like if you only give the dog an option to go in your yard, it'll eventually go in the yard.
Pepper is bad about that. She will not go in the yard. She will not.
Yeah.
She'll step right into the tall grass, the field behind the house, but she will not go in the manicured lawn. She'll go to it's a weird thing.
All right. So this is the last one for the night. We'll finish this up with a good old fashioned Am I the asshole for expecting my husband to watch a TV show he doesn't like without complaining? So I have a problem with the title of this one.
Yes.
It's one little part. If it just stopped at "Am I the asshole for expecting my husband to watch a TV show he doesn't like?" Fine. Let's hear it out. Yeah. But then the part without complaining. So I don't even need to read this to know that she's expecting him to not only watch a show he doesn't want to watch, but shut up and do it. Sit there, shut up, don't say a word, stare at the TV, don't even breathe too loud.
You don't get to tell me if I can complain or not.
My 37-year-old female husband, 37-year-old male. So this is the female talking. I know that's sometimes a little confusing at the beginning. And I cannot agree with, so my husband and I cannot agree what to watch on TV. Yesterday, I suggested the Juul documentary, Juul.
Yeah, it's a vape
like
stick.
vapes.
It's a popular Netflix. Actually, a very good documentary.
He says it looks awful, but agrees as he has no counter offer. So I think he's saying this looks like crap. But I don't have anything better to suggest. We watched 2 episodes, and he talks to me about it during, implying he was slightly interested. Today, I asked if he wants to continue to watch the show, and he says it was absolutely horrible, and he had no interest in continuing to watch it. I said, well, we only have 1 episode left. Can we just finish it? He looks it up, and it looks like there are actually 2 more episodes, but he begrudgingly puts it on. As we're watching, I see that he's watching a movie on his phone. I pause and ask him why he's watching a movie, and he says, because I think this is a really bad documentary. I point out that I often watch stuff he picks. There it is. I watch stuff that you want.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. That old chestnut. I point out that I often watch stuff he picks that I don't like, but I just watch it like a normal person because I love you so much. No. And if he, right there, I watch it like a normal person, suggesting he's not normal, suggesting he has something wrong with him. But I just, and if he wants to watch something else so badly, why I don't just go watch this upstairs? I also said, don't you think it's nice to watch something together? So he stops watching on his phone and we continue. When it ends, he says, oh no, you have to watch the final episode tonight because I refuse to give up another night being mandated to watch this awful piece of shit program, which I think is an incredible rude comment. I don't think he was mandated to watch anything. No, he was
woman-dated.
Yes. Hey, if I got to hear about mansplaining all the time, I can make up my own word, woman dating. I honestly don't care if he's on Instagram or ignoring the program, but I do think watching a completely separate program on his phone is rude. And I often watch stupid shows of his choosing with no comment. I offered to let him go upstairs and watch shows separately, and he didn't. So if you're going to stay downstairs and watch, just watch without being a jerk about it. I think the constant commentary on how it's so horrible and so bad is rude and asshole behavior. And he thinks that because he did, in fact, watch the program as asked, he's totally the nice person in this situation. So, internet strangers, who is the asshole here?
All right.
I got to be careful, but go ahead, Aric.
Grey's Anatomy, Big Brother, any number of tattoo shows. And I know I'm missing something somewhere along the line here.
Below Deck.
American Horror Story. I watch a lot of what my wife wants to watch. However, here's the problem I have with the whole scenario. Well, I guess I probably have more than one problem. First of all, why is it any different being on Instagram than it is watching your own show on your phone? You're on your phone either way. Why is it so important that you both watch the same thing at the same time?
If the togetherness is what you're after. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, like if she's saying, I just want to be near you, then what do you care? You're sitting there next to each other.
Then let's cuddle up on the couch and I'll watch the show on my phone. You can watch about Jules.
I will watch WWE Raw while you watch
Don't get me started on that. Is Mrs. Griffin still on this episode?
Oh well. Oh yes. Here we go. She has a comment. Why does she care so much about his opinion about this documentary? It's not like her documentary. Sounds like she needs to speak up and stop watching the shows he likes and she hates.
Now you had me there for half of that, babe, and then you went on the second half of that.
Went rogue.
And you sided with her. You said that she should fight fire with fire. I thought you were right there, but turns out you were wrong. No, I was going to say, because my lovely younger bride has decided at this stage in her life she's going to become obsessed with wrestling. I can't explain it. So what I have to listen to while I'm laying there in bed trying to get on Instagram and do things on my phone, I got to listen to wrestling commentary next door with the with
What a
her, with her
maneuver.
yeah.
Oh,
And then
that
she
is
has the
awesome.
audacity to say, "You guys should do a wrestling a topic or whatever." And I said, "That's Brady's. Trust me, that's Brady's cup of tea." There, Aric would have nothing to add, and I would not have near as much to add as Brady. But
I would have nothing to add after the year 1983.
You can kind of stop at 1986.
yeah. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting, and I'm wondering if she's not a rarity there to become obsessed with wrestling at her age, which is again younger than I am. So I'm not gonna mention her age, but it's a little bit
She's
advanced.
not in the general demographic.
Exactly. Not to just start it now. She's in the general demographic to someone who has been obsessed with it since she was a Ute.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Right.
Bonus
she
content.
doesn't.
Celia and I do a wrestling episode.
Oh, another long comment, Todd. You have.
Oh my goodness.
You've. Oh, the comments are coming fast and furious. As she says, I did not
Yeah.
side with her. I think she is the butthole here. My issue is she watches these shows with him that she really, truly hates because she wants payback later for it. So she's acting like she's doing the selfless
Gotcha.
act when really she's just doing it because she wants him to do the same thing for her. If she
Yeah,
truly hates it, then she needs to shut up. Yes. I
Yeah,
like
this is how you stay married for 23 years, folks listening out there. She's right. I didn't take it that way. Like you're right. She's kind of doing things just so she can later on.
She's
Rake him about it.
Virtue signaling with TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Celia
I love
also
this
says,
comment. Go ahead, Aric.
I loved wrestling when I was a kid. I can just watch it now whenever I want. I
Stop.
didn't have that option as a child.
I watched wrestling when I was a kid. I can just not watch it now whenever I want, is what I'm hearing. That is awesome.
Sorry, Aric. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were giving your feedback on this.
Yeah, I don't care if I'm watching something and like she's on her phone. It's fine. The volume piece is the real issue. Volume of my show, because her hearing is more acute than mine is. So I need to have the TV at a certain level, and she thinks it's too loud. But also, like, she watches things on her phone and the volume is up just enough.
To be a hindrance.
And it's infringing upon my show.
It's loud enough where you can't hear it. You have to try to listen to it, but yet
it's loud enough to where it is a hindrance. I won't say I can't hear it, but
you can't listen to it though. You can hear it, but you can't tell what they're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I don't believe that's just us. I think that's a common occurrence.
Can I tell you what doesn't work? No matter how kindly you wrap it up and sweeten it up. Honey, would you like me to get your earbuds?
Oh no,
Yeah. Well, hang on, Aric. Don't tell me because I don't have the comments turned on my. Has Celia mentioned anything about that yet? Because I know she's going to chime in, or if she already hasn't, about me listening to videos full blast volume in the middle while she's sleeping.
There is nothing about that yet.
Okay. Well, I will say I tend to. She a lot of times uses her earbuds. I will say that. But she a lot of times has them up loud enough where I can hear through the ear. So I'll give you an example. So I don't know who I was with. It might have been Celia. We were at a movie theater at Bethel back in the day. You remember the movie theater in Bethel?
Ethel,
Yeah.
yes.
And we're watching a movie. I think it was Sliver. The movie was Sliver with Sharon Stone and the one Baldwin. But yeah.
Doug, you remember Ethel? Go ahead, Todd. I'm sorry.
Well, and there was a gentleman in front of us. There were only and say you will correct me if I'm wrong, shockingly, but there was like it was an old person in the theater, and they had a hearing aid, and I could hear the movie through the gentleman's hearing aid, and it was distracting me. You know what I mean? Like I could hear it on the big screen, the speakers, but I could also hear it sounding much less impressive through his hearing aid. But sometimes I can hear her earbuds, as she says she keeps them as low as possible.
Lies.
Now I am guilty that
Lies.
I lose track of time sometimes, and I'll watch I watch a lot of YouTube videos about bourbon, like bourbon people that are into bourbon and stuff, and so I will listen to that sometimes. And I admit I don't use my earbuds because I can't find them most of the time.
Do you know that annoying like Instagram Reels thing that everybody is putting this stock cackle laughter?
The old man? Is it the old man that does? That's not what. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
At 1:30 in the morning when I'm trying to sleep, and somebody else has a bout of insomnia, and you're sound asleep, and you hear that.
Do you know what would be a fun episode? Probably not for anybody else but us. Is just to have the spouses on there and the significant others and talk about those kind of things, because we could probably work out a lot of therapeutic issues that we all have here.
Yeah, we should do that. And actually, I think the audience would enjoy that.
Go ahead, Brady. What are your thoughts on this particular? Unless Aric wasn't done yet. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm good.
My thoughts on it is she is wrong. She is an use. It just sounds like she's passive aggressively wanting a pound of flesh for the things that she had to watch that she didn't like. So she's going to extract her diabolical revenge by making him watch something that he doesn't want. And if he's anything like me, have you done this? We've all been guilty of it, where they're watching something they might be liking, so you start MSTing your way through it. MST3K it.
Yeah.
You start making comments, and that just does not go well.
Plus, I want to say this: these aren't young people. These are 37 and 30. Well, they're both 37. These aren't kids. And don't get me wrong. Every marriage is different, and my way is certainly not the way to any kind of our relationship doesn't mean that everybody has to have the same. But good Lord, if Say and I were so worried about making sure we're watching the same documentaries as each other, it would be miserable. I mean, she watches tons of stuff that I don't watch, and I'll start documentaries. There are times where we watch things, we plan it and watch them together. And there are times we both will start watching something, get 3 episodes in and think, hey, I'm going to hold up and let you catch up. So, cause I think you would like this. And there are things we like to watch together, but never do we say, hey, you need to be here sitting here next to me watching this, even if you don't like it, just so we can say we're watching it together. And that seems to be what she's at. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I've implicated my wife a little bit when I listed all these shows that I forgot Sister Wives. That's another one.
See, you pick up enough of that crap when you walk through the room and everything, and then you hear it, and you see his repugnant mug on the screen.
Yeah.
And that's what sets me on edge.
I'd like to punch him, but
they're just always awful people, and I don't want to watch them.
And there's something to be said about. I tell this story often whenever I'm like when you see people post on like social media and asking, hey, what Netflix show should I watch next or whatever, and I don't mind those shows because, those posts because I like to be helpful in those situations. But like there are times where I can remember, and for years, Celia she's like, you got to come watch this Sons of Anarchy show with me, and I'm like, I have no interest whatsoever, and I'm not a motorcycle person. I could care less. I don't want to watch that. That's stupid. And she tried, and finally one summer I watched it, and I rank it as one of my top 3 favorite shows ever now. So there are times where your spouse is right, like you should give something a try. But at this point, the show is a moot issue here in this situation. It could be anything. The point is, again, the reasons why she's wanting, like, if she's wanting togetherness and wanting them to just watch it and be happy together, that's not what she's after anymore. At this point, like you guys have said, like Sia said, she's after a reckoning.
She is after total compliance.
Yes, and after well, I do this, so you need to do this.
Right.
And I've always said this about men and women, that we keep score differently. And this is an example where we do. I mean, that's I'm probably, guys. If a creeping figure comes up behind me and slaps me in the back of the head, you let me know before I get hit. I've always said this.
Worry about the pan.
No, I'll wait till you do get hit, then I'll laugh.
Okay, because I've always said this, and usually Sia laughs about it. So if she says if she tries not to, she's being dishonest. So we keep score differently. So in her mind, she watches a show with him that's worth 10 points. So he watches an episode of he watches an episode of Jewel with her. That's only worth 1 point. He has to watch the whole damn series to get to the 10 points.
Oh, I love it.
And I say that because you can argue with me, but that's exactly the way what she's portraying right there. It's not good enough that he watched an episode or two and said he didn't like it. He's an adult. He says, I don't like it. I don't want to watch it anymore. That's not good enough because he hasn't gotten to 10 points yet. That's the difference.
All right. So now watching Jewel is only worth half a point. Watching it without watching your phone is worth the full point.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
So you still have 0.5 pounds of flesh to make up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And mind you, this isn't a sexist thing. That could be flipped. Be flipped. But one spouse always keeps score differently than the other spouse.
Yeah.
I will say, anytime sister wives are involved, it's 20-1 on my end. I'm kidding. I'm just poking fun. It's like,
no, you're serious. And then don't say you're poking fun because you're serious.
it is pretty horrible. It's pretty horrible.
Awful. And it's gotten worse. I didn't think it could get worse, but
I don't know what the show is, but the title of it seems a bit.
He's a fundamentalist LDS member, and he's a polygamist, so he keeps multiple households with these women.
Well, see, I'm rooting for the women because now they're
is this in Utah
against him. Yeah, well, it was in Utah. It was in Las Vegas for a while because the Utah people didn't treat them well. Well, you know what? You're not really adhering to societal norms here. So, I mean, people are going to say things.
And not only that, may I say something questionable? So here's your trigger warning. Close your ears. He's a douche.
Oh, he's terrible.
He's a douchebag.
Oh yeah, there is no bigger, and I'm talking about everyone who's ever been on Big Brother because I consider those people the biggest narcissist in the world. There is no bigger narcissist than Cody on Sister Wives.
So this is one guy. They don't do like different.
Who has like 5 or 6 different women's and 5, 6 different houses, and he looks like he has ramen for hair, and it just bugs me.
What?
He has ramen noodles for hair. And I don't like to look at him. I don't like to hear him talk. I don't like to see his wee beady ferret eyes. There is nothing about him. I want him deported.
Yeah, agreed.
I would testify at a court of law in evidence against him because I have been, against my will, caught pieces of this show, and it sickens me. And I will testify against him. You, sir, are a polygamist. You're guilty because I've seen you. It's a farce.
This is where I have to say though, and I have to say if she's still listening, I'm not just kissing up, but this is where I am very blessed and very lucky because I walk in on my wife watching like Jeffrey Dahmer documentaries and like the Hillside Strangler. That's the kind of stuff that I've never known her to watch a Big Brother or a Bachelorette or a so I do appreciate that. So I'm sorry, gentlemen, that you but here's the thing.
My wife watches that stuff too, and I can watch that stuff. But
yeah,
you'll watch that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll tell you one that she turned me on to that was good. You know, there's Orange is the New Black, and the name is escaping me. It's the British version of that. It's called like Reddington, something like.
Burnt Sienna is the new dark gray.
It's the British version, and that was excellent. That was really good. Excellent. I'll have to look up the name. For some reason, Reddington doesn't sound right, but it's something like that.
Yeah.
But
So I started into a comment earlier, and I want to finish it, but
Go ahead.
I implicated my wife, and I listed all these shows that she watches, and like I said, Sister Wives was one I'd forgotten, but I will admit to the fact that I do pay her back by allowing her to watch that. Like I have a choice. That came out way worse than I intended.
wait a minute. Run that by me one more time.
No, I'm not going to say it again. I will
You
not say it
allow
again.
her to do what?
I will not say it again. No,
I allow her to pay me for hours of TV to watch.
No. She can watch the shows, and I won't complain. That's what I'll say. That's what I
what you meant. She gets to do it. She gets to do it sans complaint.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I return the favor to her with my hours upon hours from my DVR watching Quincy and Blind Date. So
You're not going to believe this, but I was literally getting ready to say, do you get her back by making her watch Quincy or Perry Mason? Or I know you say you don't watch Murder, She Wrote, but I could have sworn you were a Murder, She Wrote fan.
No, I know. I've never watched Murder, She Wrote. Never watched Perry Mason, actually.
The name of that show is Wentworth.
I'm thinking Matlock, not Perry Mason.
No, not Matlock either. Never watched that.
Really?
Yes, In the Heat of the Night. Yes, Quincy. Blind Date, yes. She likes Blind Date a little bit, but then she gets annoyed by some of it. I don't know how she can be annoyed by Blind Date and not be annoyed by some of that other stuff. But
how can you not like In the Heat of the Night?
I don't know.
That's fantastic.
I don't even have to say a word, do I?
Never mind.
She's bombarded.
Oh, I'll tell you now. My guilty stuff that I watch that is probably annoying. I like watching a lot of music documentaries, like making of the album. Like famous classic albums. Tacoma FD is probably not everybody's cup of tea. Always Sunny in Philadelphia, probably not for everyone. South Park, not for everybody.
Yeah. I really think there's also something to be said about, like, there are a couple of things that make your significant other, the things you have in common, the thing, obviously your differences, things like that. I think that, like, where I'm lucky is that the things that we had in common since day one, since we were teenagers, were things like music, TV, movie. Those are the things. Yeah. So we are very similar. Like we seldom butt heads on what we want to watch and things like that. Now again, the wrestling thing, I don't watch wrestling anymore, so I kind of tease her about that. But still, like, for the most part, I don't worry about things she asks me to watch because I usually like them, and vice versa. So I will say I'm lucky there. Now, obviously, everybody hasn't known each other since they were 14 years old, and kind of knows those connections. But I just think in this situation with this, I think this story here with this lady.
Yeah, that was a big circle back around. So now we're
yes,
around.
That's where I was getting at. She starts out being fine. There's nothing wrong with asking him to watch this. And if he says he doesn't want to watch, there's nothing wrong with her kind of prodding him and saying, "Now, hey, give it a chance. Yeah. Come on, try it out." But the fact that he watched a couple episodes, she looks at that as if, okay, so she's wanting him to dedicate his time and be close to her and watch this show. And he does that for 2 episodes. And then afterwards, he says, "I don't really like it. I don't care to continue." And it turns out that's not what she wanted after all at all. She wanted, he has to watch it all for her to be happy with him. Now, and that's where it makes me really question her motive there. Kind of like you said, I don't think her motive was to spend time with him and get close and watch this show together at all. I think it was a, hey, even Stevens here, I do this for you, you got to do this for me type thing.
Yeah.
Quid pro quo, ladies.
Yeah. Because again, he watched 2 episodes, and then he honestly gave it much longer than I probably would have. I mean, I probably wouldn't have given it 2 episodes if I hated it. So he was trying to hang in there.
Right.
Bottom line, people, if you're going to Reddit to get your marriage therapy, you're going to end up with, like, us 3 judging you some days. So be careful.
Judged.
Um,
So, in case you're interested, Celia, Doug says November 17th, Georgetown, Ohio. Big time wrestling comes to Brown County. So what constitutes big time wrestling? What would that be?
Is Howard the Animal Steel coming?
Howard the Animal Steel. George's younger brother.
Hulk Hogan.
So,
The Chode Warriors. Oh, sorry.
Celia says, Brady, how do you really feel about this guy talking about Cody on Sister Wives?
This is kind of pinned up because this has been on many years. And I just, yeah,
Yeah,
it hits
I've
a
never-
nerve.
I've never even heard of the show.
Brady will go with you if Todd doesn't, Celia.
I will.
What? No, Celia, we don't. You can go with Brady. And you don't even have to give me an explanation like the guy in Vegas. I mean, you don't have to even explain to me why.
There you go.
We don't really want you to go, Todd.
Mount of the South, Jimmy Hart in the house, according to Doug.
Yes,
That does make it big time.
that does.
He's still kicking?
Oh, yeah.
Amazingly, yeah. I'll bet he dyes his hair.
Oh.
Ricky the Dragon Steam Pile.
Super Dave.
Super Dave.
I was just talking about you the other day, Super Dave. I was eating dinner with your brother.
Let's see who else. What else? I'm trying to think of. Now this has got me going. Stone Bold, Steve Houston.
Brutus the Barber beef patty.
What were we? It's like what we were doing the other day on. Well, I forgot.
Rowdy Roddy Pipette.
Greg the Hammer Clementine. Oh, hell, this is going to take a while.
Yeah. Right. And then Celia got her little snippet of wrestling here. That's what she wanted from the wrestling episode. All right.
We will do I think we've done wrestling.
Super Dave, the underwear taker. That's a good one. All right. Good topic. I always love AITA. It's a favorite. Forgot to mention the website from the get-go, playbyyourpodcast.com. Check it in. Check it out. Look about the information for our show here. Our nice little neighborly show we do here. All right. Honestly, that topic went a little longer than what I anticipated, but it's all good. So the game of the night, as I said from the onset of the show here, is off topic. So I will give you a brief review of on topic here. So I've got this, I don't know how many sided die that is, but each side of the die has a letter on it. I think it's a 20-sided die or something.
It has to be, 26, wouldn't it?
Not all the letters are represented here, I don't think. Anyway, I am going to give a statement. The statement may have a blank. It just may be a statement, and our co-host here, whatever letter I roll, have to come up with answers to that statement or answers to fill in that blank, starting with this letter. And they will have a timer made of sand.
Yeah.
It's like the hourglass of time.
sand.
So goes
The
the days of our lives.
Isn't it amazing all three of us
See,
did that?
That comes from watching TV shows with our mom, even though we didn't want to.
Right, there you go. Of course, back in the day, you didn't have a chance to get on your phone.
General Horse Piddle.
All right, so very briefly, rules of the game. Articles A and the are not the starting words. So you can use, for example, The Notebook would be acceptable for movies that start with the letter N.
But not T.
Correct.
Okay.
The article doesn't count in all that.
Yeah.
Players cannot use the same answer more than once per round. Proper
Even if
nouns
it's
do-
like, so even if it changes like tense, like that kind of thing, past tense.
Like bat or
Plural-
bats.
pluralities.
bat or bats. Yeah, like
Yeah.
The same sort. Yeah. Proper nouns do not discount one another. So, for example, if the topic is colleges, Georgia State and Georgia Tech are two different colleges. So,
Gotcha.
what?
I'm gonna let you read the rules before I ask.
Okay. Your answer can be a phrase. So if the topic, for example, is first world problems and you say Netflix is down, that would be acceptable for the letter N.
In.
Gotcha.
All right. For topics with 2 blank spaces, I'm not even going to pick one with 2 blank spaces, so we don't have to worry about that. Any player can challenge another player's answer during the pitch. So we will go from one to the other on you guys, and you will give your pitch as to the words that you've selected. And if someone challenges, then I get to select if the word is acceptable or not. Because
Eric, I think you need to get in the middle of the shuffle, like on the screen alignment.
There
we go. Wow, that was instantaneous.
I was. How about
That was impressive. So real quick. I'm sorry. Will you go ahead?
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
You cannot use your phone, which you guys don't do that. And the host of the party, being me, can decide if I will allow generic adjectives as answers. So, for example, if I discount generic adjectives, you cannot answer red truck for the topic vehicles. So I say no generics.
So you're just saying that right now, blanketly.
I'm saying blanket, no generics. Got to be specific. Okay, Todd, did you have a question?
So this game always reminds me of categories.
Yeah.
And what if it is alliteration? Do you get more than 1 point?
I believe we had this discussion last time we played.
Well,
Kyle Kingrel is in effect.
well, Kyle King is alliteration, so therefore,
yeah, it
yeah.
is.
Well, I guess what I mean by that, I'm trying to think of an example, but if you said, said like store names, and you said Bart's Beeswax or something like that, is that like would that be 2 points or just 1?
No, just 1, because the whole premise begins with a letter. So
Okay,
that's fair enough.
Bart's Beeswax is Beeswax is the name of the store, so it would just be Bart's. Okay.
All
right. So we'll both play at the same time. We don't take turns, so I'll just give you the scenario, roll the die, and give you the letter. All right. Scenario: blank is the total worst. Blank is the total worst. Your responses have to begin with the letter A. You may begin. So again, our co-hosts, blank is the total worst, is their prompt. They are using the letter A to come up with answers that begin with that letter to fill in that blank. And so we had a lot of fun with this game last time we played. And I'm doing that whole fill the dead air thing. So I'm going to tell you all, don't look at the comments. I'm going to invite people who are watching to chime in. Blank is the total worst, starting with the letter A. So audience members, if you'd like to chime in on that, see if you can match what our co-hosts do. By the way, we go and count your responses, and the person with the most responses wins the round, so you get the point. And by the way, if you have the same answer, they cancel each other out. So there's that as well. All right. Hourglass still running. Blank is the total worst, starting with the letter A. That's a good one, Celia. I'll put it up when they get done. That is the worst, especially in certain situations. Super Dave, I like that. I don't know that that's the worst. I kind of like it. Some people may not, though. And time. All right, Todd. Lengthy list.
Right.
All right, Brady, if Todd has the same answer as you have, chime in. So we'll just
Cross it out. Yeah.
streamline the process here.
Okay.
All right, number 1, ass pain.
Yes.
I will follow up with something similar. Anal fissures.
I have anal fissures. Cross it out.
Okay.
I have it on my
You really have anal fissures? So anal fissures cancel themselves.
Yes. Anaconda's dinner.
Is that being Anaconda's dinner
Yes.
or Anaconda's dinner in general? Okay.
Aching joints.
And that's a definite.
Arachnophobia.
Ooh.
Wait a minute. I thought we were supposed to go back and forth.
No, I'm
No.
going to read
He's gonna
mine,
read
but
his
you
list.
got to let me know if any of them.
Sorry. That's where I.
Yeah. The only time you chime in, Brady, is if you have one that matches him.
Okay, gotcha.
Aardvark attack.
God, I about put that.
Armadillo attack.
Oh, here we go.
Anteater attack.
Only if you're an ant.
Ass sweat.
Are we talking about gluteus maximus or the donkey?
Ass sweat.
Okay.
Achilles tear.
Yes.
Alf reruns. Now, I don't believe that because I love Alf, but I think if you hate Alf, Alf reruns could be the worst.
True.
Alligator boots.
Hmm.
I actually
Yeah,
have no problem with alligator boots, but
I think a lot of people would dispute that.
Yeah.
but I think like your average tree hugger type
Yeah.
artichoke hearts.
Good one.
Anchovies.
Good one.
Yes.
That's all I got.
All right. So how many do you have total, with not counting the ones that were canceled out or the one that was canceled out?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
13. Brady?
Okay, so anal fissures was at the top of my list, so that's gone. So I have arrow wounds,
Yes.
ant bites,
Oh, yeah.
ant aggressive hugs, as in AUNT. Audio cutout.
I gotta be honest, uncle aggressive hugs are a little creepier.
Yeah. Allergies.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
Axe spray overdone.
You're a middle school teacher for
I was
sure.
gonna say spoken like a true
Yeah.
middle school teacher right there.
Anal probe.
Oh, to each their own.
An asp bite. It's a venomous snake.
I know what it is.
So does Cleopatra.
Alligator while swimming.
Alligator anywhere.
You could have just said alligator, but then I guess alligator boots would have been.
Antelope droppings.
Oh, don't worry, the owner will clean them up.
Yeah.
If it's in your yard.
Art history exams.
Yeah.
In angry exchanges at the grocery store.
So how many you have, Brady?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 anal
12.
fissures. Cut me off. Or I would have had 13.
Todd gets the point.
Gosh.
By
Circle
one.
gets the square.
All right. I didn't ask if we had any challenges. I assume.
Hawaii. No, I don't have any challenges there. Because I won. Because I won the points.
Right.
Nikki, good answer. Adolescence.
Yeah. Let me put up. Celia says apathy is the worst. Actually,
Who cares?
Super Dave's first comment was this could go south really fast. And,
Or it could go north.
well, it could be. He said applesauce, which that's why I said I kind of like applesauce. Some
I
people
like
may not.
I don't like sugar-free applesauce.
Adolescence is the total worst. That is true. That is absolutely true. And Super Dave also says armpit sweat juice.
Two.
Very, very descriptive.
It is.
Yeah.
So is it like chili soup? Some armpit sweat is not juice, and some armpit juice is
No,
not
it's
sweat.
bottled armpit sweat that's been turned into a juice. It's a product.
Gotcha.
Yuck.
Gotcha. All right.
All right. Tying in with our previous topics that we just happened upon in AITA. Good dog names. And the letter is H. Letter H. Good dog names. Todd is up 1-0. In the interest of time, gentlemen, we will play to 3. 2-0 is a skunk. Good dog names. Starting with the letter A. Okay, while we have this downtime, do want to invite you all once again to visit our website, playitbyyourpodcast.com. We also have all of our past episodes on the page there. So if you want to catch up, and we've talked about this before, the numbers involved in because we can see how many people are watching, listening, whatever. Sometimes we'll get like 90 in a day, and then it goes down to like 3. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to it, but if you find yourself wanting to catch up, all the episodes are right there on the website, right on the front row of each page. Put this up. Dylan says, I had to log in separate because Nikki refuses to put my answers. By the way, Dylan, hope you all got into Country Inn yesterday. No, I think you all left before we did. So it was after the in-service yesterday in Brown County, and all the Brown County teachers were in Mount Orb, and trying to find a place to go eat for lunch was problematic. So everything was busy. All right, good dog names beginning with the letter A. Time.
Did you say letter H?
You said H earlier.
You said
sorry.
H.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
H.
God.
No,
I was just say,
H. My bad.
I would have been screwed.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking back to the previous thing. H. All right. Todd? Or no, Brady goes first. I'm sorry. Brady, go ahead.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Harley.
I have it.
Hildegard. Hugo. Helen. Harpo.
Hang on. Hang on.
Hold on.
I have Helen.
Okay.
Okay. Canceled.
Canceled. Harpo.
No.
Okay.
Hadley.
Okay.
Haley.
I do not have Haley.
Hank.
I don't have Hank.
Henry.
I have Henry.
Harlow.
Hang on 1 second. Slow down. I do not have Harlow.
Have quite the list here.
Helmet, as with 2 T's, like the German name. Helmet. It's going to be a German Shepherd.
I don't have helmet.
Helmet.
Hound.
No.
Haku,
No.
like the wrestler Haku the Barbarian. Hero.
I don't have that.
Hazard.
As in Dukes of?
Yes. Or just dangerous.
I don't have that.
Hampton.
Well, Hazard with 1 Z is dangerous. Hazard with 2 Z's
That's
is
it.
at Dukes of.
Mine has 1 Z. So,
Okay.
And Heinrich.
I don't have that.
Another German Shepherd. All right. How many do you have on your list there, Brady?
Let's see. You said you did have Harley and you had Hank.
I had Harley. No, I had Harley and Henry. Those are the 2 years that I have.
Okay. And Helen.
I do not have Helen.
Okay. Okay. 1. 15.
15. Todd?
All right. I have Harry.
Harry.
Oh,
Hermie.
H-A-I-R-Y or H-A-R-R-Y?
Harry.
Okay.
Hermie.
Hermie.
Herbert.
Herbert.
Hubert.
Hubert.
Half sack.
nice Sons of Anarchy reference.
Right.
Thank you. Hannah.
Now, a dog named Half Sack would have to fit certain requirements, right?
Yeah.
The Bob Barker treatment.
Well, that would only be a half Bob Barker, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Go
There'd
ahead.
just be a Bo Bark. Hickory.
Nicely put.
Oh.
Halfwit. Hillary.
Oh.
Hiawatha. Hunchback.
Gosh.
Harlot.
Pirate.
Happy.
So, are you saying harlot is a bitch that likes to go around the neighborhood?
Yes.
Literally.
Female dog. Female.
Yeah, I
dog.
gotcha. I gotcha.
Hung low.
Hung low.
Highness.
Highness, as in your.
Henrietta Hoppenflopper. Hellman's.
Mayonnaise.
Heathcliff.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's a
And
cat name.
Hogwart.
Hogwart. Oh, Harry Potter reference. How many, Todd?
19.
Gosh.
Ooh.
Is it a pulpus?
We can do the. You want to do the third round just for fun?
Yeah.
Let's
we'll
just do
it.
one more round. It's quick.
Seems like we did this last time. Like the
Yeah.
winner was picked pretty early, but we just
Put up the comments from Dylan says humper. Henry was used here. Super Dave's kid said Henry.
Humpty.
Humpty Dumpty.
My name is Humpty.
Jim Hike 'em high. It's like the dog
a
going
boy
in the
dog.
yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Dylan says
Horn.
horn. Celia says if you go to the website, pick a random old episode, enjoy. Yeah,
That
Thank
she
you,
does.
Celia.
just do an eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
When you see those weird numbers, Aric, like out of the blue, like episode 43 got to play that week, it's probably
yeah.
Celia.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I always wonder about that. All right.
Where's he going?
Okay, it's a blank. So I'm curious about blank. Letter is E. I'm curious about letter E. So Todd already has the skunk, but we're playing this last round here for fun. I'm curious about blank is the prompt. Letter E is the letter. You know, usually we do these shows and people kind of, they're in the room, then they're out of the room. And so the number kind of fluctuates, but you know, our numbers here tonight, thank you all for, I guess most of you have kind of lingered in the shadows, but number's been around 13 to 17 the whole 2 hours here. So
Nice.
yeah, thanks for your patronage. We enjoy you being here. You add to what we do, as we always say. I'm curious about letter E. Things that begin with the letter E. And I was looking back. We'll put this up on the camera from our live. Got kind of a glare here, though. We were playing AITA earlier, and there's our little representation of AITA. Apparently, we played that on episode 80. Now, Todd, I know Brady made this poster, but I don't mean to take you away from what you're doing there. Kind of looks like Riley.
It does kind of, yeah.
It's a little girl with a like a vampire outfit on. All right. I'm curious about letter E, time.
Got it.
All right, Todd. What you got?
All right, I have number 1, elections.
Yeah.
Eels.
I got that one.
Ah. Elephant ears.
Oh, pachyderm external auditory meatus.
So elephant ears, as in the dessert, or
Yes.
the okay,
The confectionery.
yes.
That's good.
And then I just have, okay, so am I allowed to do this? I have elephants and I have ears separately.
Yeah, I mean they're all different.
Why not?
Earwax.
Ew.
Esophaguses. Esophagi?
Tough guy.
What is the plural of esophaguses? Is
Esophagi.
esophagi? Okay.
Or esophages.
Esophagus.
Esophagus. Esophagus and esophagus.
Envelopes. Epsom salts.
Oh, nice.
Ever ready batteries.
Nice.
Ethanol.
Mm.
Elastic. Elks.
By the way,
Elves.
did you see that Arby's had elk meat?
Really?
Yeah, but anyway, go ahead.
Elves.
Elves.
Echoes.
Yeah.
Energy drinks.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm amazed that you guys haven't matched anything yet.
We did. Eels.
Eels.
Oh, eels. Okay.
Enough's enough.
Oh,
Did you have that?
no.
Fly high Michelle, baby. Fly high Michelle.
Brady, how did you not have that?
I know.
And last but not least, I'm really not interested in it. Erectile dysfunction.
Also stated by Dylan Fain.
Nice.
There you go, Dylan. I mean, yeah, we're not curious. We heard it's a thing.
I'd rather avoid that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Nice.
Okay, obviously, whenever Enough's Enough is mentioned on this show, I have to tell the story of the greatest bass solo ever played by me at the Newport Music Hall on High Street, and when Enough's Enough was playing.
By Chip, did Chip's Enough let you touch his bass?
So, yeah, well,
He
he
did.
didn't let me. He didn't let me. I
He was
just
doing the
did.
crowd thing.
Yeah, he put his bass down there, so I plunked the string.
There you go.
He used his finger as the plectrum.
I did.
Next time you're at a show, Aric, you come up and do that, and we'll make a big announcement of how we are reliving the Enough's Enough days.
Yes.
He has made his return to the bass after 30 years.
Yep.
Enough time has gone by.
Ooh, nice.
Enough time has gone by. All right. Go
You
ahead,
ready?
Todd. Yep.
Everything.
Aha.
Ecclesiastes. Egg dishes. Errol Flynn. Evil Knievel.
What? Hang on a minute. You mean Evil Knievel, right?
I do.
Okay.
It should be pronounced Evil Knievel. I'm just being
Evil Knievel.
consistent.
Is that Bo? That's Bo Evil. Never mind.
No, if knife is pronounced knife, then Knievel.
Knights or knights? It should be Evil
Knievel.
Knievel.
Evil Knievel. I
Knievel.
get it. Yeah.
Eggplants. Ermine. It's a kind of rodent.
Of course.
Electricity. Electric guitars.
Electricity.
Effervescent liquids.
I almost put effervescence. I didn't
Yeah. Elegies. Eagles. The E chord. Everclear. That could be
The drink
band or the drink.
the band, yeah.
Early risers.
Speaking of
Epicunean
erectile-
pursuits.
Is that like the opposite of erectile dysfunctions?
It is.
That's what I was thinking.
Nice. Okay. Let's see. I lost my place.
Brady, you have to hide your face while you're counting.
Yeah,
Gotta get up
I thought I was gonna sneeze. I didn't want to sneeze into the
He's
microphone.
got to get it up to his face.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay,
Penguins.
typewriter. Okay, here we go.
Okay, I muted you while you.
Okay, thank you.
Snows.
Snosed. He muted the snozenge.
Okay, I said Everclear earlier. Epicunean pursuits. Cooking. Epidurals. Epidermal abrasions.
What was the one
And-
earlier? The bilabial
Bilabial fricative.
contractions. What was it?
And Ellis.
What'd you say?
Elvis.
What? Elvis.
Elvis.
Okay.
Nice.
Elvis.
I thought you said Ellis.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No eels. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I had 19. 19.
What'd you have, Todd?
16.
Oh.
Well, too little, too late, Brady.
Yep. Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
Yep.
So Dylan also said erogenous zone.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
You-
Dylan, you naughty boy.
Yeah. Nikki said extraterrestrials. I don't believe either one of you had that, did you?
I think it's funny how she says extraterrestrials and he says erectile dysfunction and Iranian, and like he's like she wouldn't let me put my hands or something.
I think we see the reason why, Dylan.
Discipline him, Nikki. Cut him off. I'm kidding.
All right.
All right.
Good
Discipline
game.
him loudly.
All right. Good job, fellas. Good job. All right. Like I said, our numbers, that's probably the one episode our numbers probably stay pretty consistently. I can't remember an episode like the one tonight. People just kind of sticking around. So, again, we appreciate it.
Mark's safe from making chili.
Nikki says, I'm glad you understand. And
Yeah.
we definitely understand.
Yes, understanding is our middle name, Nikki.
Yeah.
All of our middle names
Right.
collectively.
So you just now are reading the thing under our names?
I actually am. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yours
indeed.
is the same. Yours is the same.
No, mine's not the same.
Yeah, I got my
Exchequer?
stitches out last week.
No.
Exchequer of Guffaws.
Yeah, no, that's not what I had last week.
Oh, what'd you have? Somebody's had something. With
Chancellor of Hilarity, I believe it was.
and Brady's Mark safe from making chili. What is the story behind that? It's 80
Um,
degrees outside, man. Nobody's making
well,
chili.
No, it was a couple weeks ago. I don't know. Did you know that I had to go to the
for
ER to
cutting your-
get
cutting your
stitches? Yeah.
finger. Yeah.
I was using the can opener, and it popped off anyway. It like the lid, 3 stitches in my thumb.
Yeah.
Boom.
Once again, I went back to Pinkerton because it would not let me put roses are red, violets are purple. Your love is sweet, like maple syrup.
Purple circle.
It wouldn't let me put that, so I'm boycotting it.
All right, so Brady, you were actually making chili. That's not a euphemism.
No, and ironically, the can
onions.
was diced green chilies.
Really,
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I was just
that,
getting into some.
that hurt worse than the cut. Was the chili juice hitting the cut?
Ooh, nothing's worse than chili juice in the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Gary. Of course, it's worth watching later.
Always, Gary. Always.
Always.
Although what it misses tonight, Gary, you'll notice this when you listen, is your extreme wit and knowledge. That's what's
Yes.
missing tonight. So
Yep.
And his,
don't hold
his
that against
ruggedly
us, Gary.
handsome profile pic.
yes,
Right.
I was just. It was funny because I was the other day. Say I was listening to an episode and Aric read off a Gary comment, and I'm just he adds so much to the show with his comments. So
He
absolutely.
does.
like you all do, but
You all
Yeah.
do.
A lot of you have skewed minds like we do. So
yeah, and you have much better comments than we have.
that's
So
true.
yeah,
That's true.
Many times.
you make more sense than we make.
Yeah,
This
absolutely.
is true.
All right. That concludes episode 147. Once again, we will have our audio version of this podcast out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app. And most anywhere you find your audio podcast. So who is that there?
So I just got a text from the wife, the little lady, the missus.
Yeah.
And this is a running joke in the Griffin family. So Ethan had this figure earlier when he was a
Patrick
kid.
Swayze.
No. And he thought it was a Brady. He thought it was. I have it.
Get a close up.
She just found this in the basement. Ethan thought when he was a kid that this was a Brady action figure. It is.
Wait a minute.
Maybe from the chin up.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, this was when he was like 3, so don't hold it against him.
I've showed this to several people, and they agree that the face does look.
Face. Who this is it's Richard. It's Dick the Dragon Steamboat.
Well, maybe it is Brady then.
It is Ricky the Dragon
It is
Steamboat.
Dragon.
And I'm trying to
It
get
is Dragon.
it is.
Dragon, gentlemen.
He's
Keep your
dressing up
mind
next
out
year
of the
as-
gutter.
You know
as
what?
Dick-
Usually I
yeah.
would say no, it's not, but in your case, yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, Brady. Yeah, he's been Dick Dragon since he was a teenager at the Lake Winoka swimming pool.
No, not that part.
Oh yeah.
Stop.
So anyway, if you're watching this, if you're not watching it, we'll put a picture on the Facebook page of this.
Yeah.
So from the neck up, from the chin up,
Yeah, not even the neck.
from the
The chin
nose up, this looks very much like Brady, circa 1997, maybe 1996.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can you see it? I'm zooming in.
The picture you had might have been better instead of
Well-
the figure.
Brady, I can't remember the last time you were mulleted, but sometime in the 90s, I'm sure.
So what we need to do, you're right. The picture does kind of, I don't know why, but that is.
It's me.
So again, without coaching, our son, when he was a kid, thought this was an action figure of Brady, which is the biggest compliment Brady's ever received.
Hey. Yeah.
It's either you look like the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat action figure, or you look like Tom Hanks. I'm not sure which is.
Well, that was shortly after the movie Philadelphia came out. Look, greatest is that
Thank
the
you,
greatest
good night.
joke ever, or the greatest Chi-Chi's joke ever?
Oh well, yeah.
Because that was told at Chi-Chi's by. I thought I said it for years. I thought I took credit for that joke.
Oh no, SJ.
Turns out it was SJ.
Oh yeah.
But the funny thing is say you sit this. It says, "Look what I found in the basement." Brady the Dragon Steamboat.
Or what was it? Super Dave said, Brady the Dragon steam pile.
Steam pile, yeah.
All
Brady
right.
the sagging dream pile.
That just sounds personal.
Video version of our podcast on Spotify, YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Search Play It By Your Podcast. Or you can watch that on the website. On Twitch. We're getting a lot of our video views on Spotify now. They went to video podcast a short time ago. Social media, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams. All those links are on our website. You can interact with us via email, admin@playitbyyourpodcast.com. You can leave a voice message. The link is at either your audio podcast provider or on our website. If you're on the iHeartRadio app, you can use the talkback feature. Looks like a microphone. So Gary left us a voice message.
I'm working on this t-shirt.
Looking for another one. All right. Anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen? Schmenneman?
Nope,
think of
all
anything.
good.
I think we wrung ourselves out pretty. I don't think we have anything else to say tonight. We're like we are drip dried and
Our work is done here.
ready for bed.
All right, so join us next Wednesday. We'll have episode 148. Like Todd said, we're getting close to 150.
We are. We should do something special for 150.
We
Did we say where that's going to put us? I just saw a dag. What's up, dag? Let that dog tell you. I can go poop right in my own backyard.
Yeah, right.
This one does.
I'm assuming we'll probably not put an episode out the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Probably not. I mean, I don't.
maybe we need to revisit a special Thanksgiving episode again.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, 150 would be the first week of December.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So we will, just for you listeners out there that care, we typically try to hone in on the holidays, and so we will be putting out I think we usually do a Thanksgiving episode, maybe even a couple. We usually
yeah.
So that'll be coming up in the next 2 weeks.
Couple
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
All right. Like I said, join us next Wednesday for episode 148. Todd, take us out.
Gary, tell us what you think when you listen later.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter at Play It By Ear Pod 2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.